Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Headbanger's Closet. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. Very kind of stormy Saturday down here in Georgia. But anyhow, glad you're tuning in. A couple weeks ago, I did a video on Slayer where I picked out some of my favorite Slayer deep tracks from some of my favorite Slayer records and had some positive reception. There was a lot of people telling me their favorite Slayer deep tracks from those records, and it was really cool kind of going back and forth with everybody, just kind of commenting and just chatting with people on YouTube's comments the last couple weeks. So I wanted to do it again, and this time the band is none other than Motley Crue, one of my all-time favorite bands, and the band that started everything for me. They were the first band that got me into metal way back when Shout at the Devil was first released. I heard it on the playground area of my Catholic school, St. Mary's Sacred Heart School in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. And the irony of hearing Motley Crue shout at the devil and getting into heavy metal on the grounds of a Catholic school is not lost on me, and I think that's pretty freaking cool. But anyway, I want to do Motley Crue. They're one of my all-time favorite bands, and I'm going to do my favorite deep tracks off their first 5 records. Love everything they've ever done, even the John Corabi self-titled record. But I'm going to go with the classics, the first 5. Shout at the Devil, Too Fast for Love, Shout at the Devil, Theater of Pain, Girls, 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 and Dr. Feelgood. I feel those are their, arguably their best records, the ones everybody knows, the classics, the one we all know and love, the ones we all grew up with. So I'm going to pick those, and it was a challenge for me, just like the Slayer one was, but this is more of a challenge. And I think every diehard Motley Crue fan will kind of tell you that on these albums, there's some deep tracks, but they all love them, so it's kind of hard to pick them out. And going to go in chronological order here with the debut record, Too Fast for Love. This is my OG copy on Elektra Records, and absolutely love this record. A lot of diehards will tell you this is their favorite record, and this is the best record by Motley Crue. And I tend to agree. It's not my favorite one, but I do feel it's up there when you listen to them all. When you kind of watch, not watch the dirt, but if you read the book, this one is the album that I kind of feel is the kind of shows the most of what Nicky was trying to do way back when he started. Now, obviously, his vision probably morphed when they started getting real popular, but this was the kind of sleaze metal that he envisioned when he started the band. That's my opinion. Love to hear your opinion on the matter, but this is a great record, and I'm going to go with 3 songs on this album from Too Fast for Love, but I'm going to give 2 honorable mentions, and the honorable mentions are Stick to Your Guns and Toast of the Town. Toast of the Town is an absolute phenomenal song. Those songs were bonus tracks from the record that were available that I first heard when I got the 2003 release on CD. Heard those songs, absolutely loved Toast of the Town. That was a phenomenal freaking song. Don't know why it's not on the album. It's not on this electric copy. I don't know if it's on the Leather Records copy or not. I don't have that. It's like multiple thousands of dollars. Would love to have it. Just really can't afford to put that in my collection at the moment. Wish I would have got it way back in the day when it was probably $50. But anyway, I'm not really sure. I didn't actually look to see if it was on that copy. Fairly certain it is. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comments below if it is, but it's not on this Elektra Records copy. So we're going to go with those 2 songs as honorable mentions because they're phenomenal. But from the actual record, the release, I'm going to go with Take Me to the Top, Starry Eyes, and On With the Show. 3 songs that are absolutely phenomenal. There was a lot of these, like Piece of Your Action, songs like that. I really don't, Public Enemy #1. I don't think you could go wrong with picking those. But I went with those 3 because I thought, I want to stick with the deep cuts kind of idea, and those to me were some of the better, deeper cuts from the record. But I love the entire album. So I love that record, but my favorite one that they ever put out is the first one I heard. That first one, the one you never forget. Stole that from my buddy VK. Thanks, brother. I know he won't mind. Shout at the Devil is the first one I heard, like I said earlier, on that Catholic school playground. The song I heard was Too Young to Fall. No, it wasn't. It was It was Looks That Kill was the first one I heard. Too Young to Fall in Love was in my brain because I just got the Record Store Day single, which is over there. Anyway, so this album's the first one I heard the song in the playground. The kid had it on the cassette tape on the boombox, and he had a Motley Crue cap on, which I thought was really cool. I loved the pentagram. That kind of drew me right in with the riffs. The heaviest thing I ever heard at the time. I was listening to Rod Stewart and ABBA and the Monkees and Air Supply and the crap that my mom would listen to around the house all the time. And this was the first band I actually heard that was kind of like I called my own. So, Looks That Kill was that first song, and it's absolutely phenomenal. But for this record, absolutely love it. I'm going to go with Red Hot, Danger and my all-time favorite Motley Crue tune, Knock 'Em Dead Kid. Love that song. Been my all-time favorite Motley Crue song for so many years. I don't think anything could ever pass it. But love those songs. I kind of feel just like doing Too Fast for Love. So many of the songs are classics. Could have gone with 10 Seconds to Love on there, or Bastard, Helter Skelter. But I feel Danger, Knock 'Em Dead Kid, and Red Hot are the songs that kind of, diehards will tell you they're great songs, but they kind of get overlooked when you kind of look at their greatest tunes. So those are the three from this record. Next album is Theater of Pain, their third release, and according to the band, this is the one they don't really like that much, and I couldn't disagree more. I absolutely love this record. Was jonesing for more Motley Crue. I remember as a kid, after having the Shout at the Devil cassette and Shout at the Devil on vinyl, just being a huge fan, getting all the magazines I could that had Motley Crue on it. So I was really looking forward to, after a while, hearing from them again. Back when you had those magazines, and on MTV, they'd play it on MTV a lot. The magazines would show them a lot, and then eventually you kind of wouldn't see them as much. And I was kind of really looking forward to seeing Motley Crue again, and then all of a sudden, bam, they come out with the Smoking in the Boys Room video, and it's the Theater of Pain album. Absolutely love this record. Love the way they looked on this album too, especially with the new outfits and all that. Just kind of taking glam metal, went from sleaze metal in the first record to heavy metal. I don't know what the look that you'd call that they had on Shout at the Devil, to full-on glam metal on this one. And I think that's really cool. Like Motley Crue, they've always been classified as like hair metal, heavy metal, glam metal, sleaze metal, but each album they've kind of changed their look a little bit, and then this one's no different. But the guys in the band don't particularly care for this album. I couldn't disagree more. I think Mick's guitar tone on the riffs on this album are second to none on anything they've ever put out. Absolutely love it. So for this one, I'm going to go with, probably Tonight We Need a Lover, Use It or Lose It, and Keep Your Eye on the Money. Those, not only are my favorite deep tracks off the record, but they're actually my favorite songs on the record. Louder Than Hell is awesome, but Tonight We Need a Lover, Use It or Lose It, which I thought was just an awesome song growing up, and Keep Your Eye on the Money. I absolutely love that song. So those are my three favorite deep cuts off Theater of Pain, and those are my favorite songs off Theater of Pain. So that was kind of the easier one to do than the first two. The next one is Girls, 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 so 1987. This thing came out, I was in the 6th grade, and what I thought was really, really cool about this record is my teacher in 6th grade was just fresh out of college. That was her very first job, so she was maybe like 22, maybe 23, and she was a huge Motley Crue fan, so we used to talk all the time about Motley Crue, and she had seen them in concert a bunch of times up until that point, and I think on this tour as well when they came around our area, and I never did. Well, until later that I actually got to see the band live, and we would talk about them all the time. She bought me a wristband from the show that she went to, and really, really cool teacher, Mrs. Riley. She loved Motley Crue, so I thought that was pretty badass. But anyway, Girls, 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 another kind of easy one for me to choose. I'm going to go with Bad Boy Boogie, All in the Name of, and Something for Nothing. Those are the three songs off the record, and Something for Nothing and All in the Name of are probably right up there with Wild Side and Girls, 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 are my favorite songs on the record. But those three songs, Something for Nothing, All in the Name of, and Bad Boy Boogie, I'm going to go with favorite deep cuts from the Girls, Girls, Girls record. And last, but certainly not least, their arguably most successful album in terms of sales, Dr. Feelgood, phenomenal record. I remember when the song Dr. Feelgood's video first came on MTV, I had no idea that they had a new album in the works or anything like that. I was completely in the dark after Girls, Girls, Girls of when they were going to do a new album and come back around. And all of a sudden, I think it was Adam Curry was like the new song from Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood. I remember seeing the video, think it was absolutely amazing, and now all these years later, it's kind of one of my least favorite songs in the record. But still, awesome record. I mean, this album was such a huge success commercially. They toured a ton for this album, and they put out a bunch of videos, a bunch of singles for it, so this one's kind of hard to pick out. There's actually only a couple I can pick out that weren't MTV singles, these huge hits, but I'm going to go with Sticky Sweet and probably She Goes Down. Those are the two. I was just going to do Sticky Sweet, but I wanted to go with more than one. Slice of Your Pie is a cool song. This album is a good album, but I actually kind of feel as hugely successful as this was and as great as the hits were on this album, it's probably out of these 5 records my least listened to album. I don't dislike it by any stretch of the imagination. I just kind of find me going back to the other ones a whole lot more, like a lot more than listen to this one. But gave this thing a listen to yesterday, kind of, seeing if my mind would change for the songs, and they didn't. I think, Sticky Sweet's riff is what sets that song apart for me. I think it's an excellent Mick guitar riff, but not too many deep cuts on this record to choose from, so I'm only going to go with just the 2. She Goes Down and Sticky Sweet. So anyway, that's my favorite Motley Crue deep cuts from their first 5 classic albums. Looking forward to hearing what you guys think and what your favorite deep cuts from these records are as well. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what those are. I'd love to talk about it with you guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and everybody have a great weekend. And as always, cheers.